All right, everybody, welcome back to Important Aim. I'm Important. You see it. First of all, I'm going to tell you, this review is going to be all over the place. I didn't even think about what I'm going to say. It just came back from the range. I want to give it to you fresh. You hear what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Yeah, you see this jersey. No big deal. Important to aim. Two-way for the number. Important on the back with the 2A. And let me know if you'll buy that. You never let me know if you will buy these ski masks. As a matter of fact, just because y'all didn't let me know, let's put them on. Nah, it's too damn hot for that. All right, here we go. Palmetto State okay. First of all, look how nice this case is, man. Palmetto State Armory, and y'all know this is one of my favorite manufacturers. Thank you for giving us this nice case. Again, owner's manual. You have to read the owner's manual. Y'all know by now. And the one thing about Palmetto State Armory and their owner's manuals, you'll notice they got the best table of contents on the planet. Now, this is interesting because as we make sure the thing is absolutely clear, and it is, there's no mag in there. And bam, we got his homie. There's a mag in there. Go through what's in this box, man. 2 magazines. As you can see, Palmetto State Armory, 23 rounds. Beautiful. You get 2 mags. It should be criminal when you don't get at least 2 magazines. Some folks going to 3, some giving you 1. Come on, y'all. And this tall pouch here, that's where your lock is. Anything else? All right. I got this as a package. Holosun 407K came with it. I didn't put it on there because I wanted to compare it with the Ruger 5.7 as you see, and I wanted to compare proper produce to produce, okay? I think I got this whole package for like $3.99. Hopefully that's not illegal to say on YouTube, but I was just a little hurt because I didn't get a real Holosun box. I mean, what? Now, I think maybe it's because, you know, in order to give this type of deal that they gave, these are probably refurbs, and Holosun has a superb customer service. So they probably, you know, got a deal to buy these things refurbed from them. You know, that outside box is not necessary. You still get all your little tools that you would normally get with the Holosun in there and all that. So everything is still in there. I don't even know if I'm going to put it on that gun. I may put it on a different firearm. I don't know. But the deal to get a Holosun 407K and, you know, the PSA Rock for that price, I mean, Paulo, come on, you're doing God's work. Let's go over this real quick. I realize not many people care about, you know, the coating finishes and all of that. That really becomes a factor when you start to talk about price to guns that, you know, are comparable, at least in size and caliber. But I won't bore you with it. If you plan on getting one of these, either A, you don't care, or B, if you do care, you know more about it than me anyway. So let's just skip it. First thing you'll notice, this threaded barrel. We need everything with a threaded barrel, even though I do not have any kind of suppressor that will fit this. But I don't know. Maybe you could do some things with that. Obviously, you know, I do plan on getting one eventually. So that is great. We're already prepared for that. They do give you these suppressor height sights, which, you know, hey, that's fine. I probably would like, even when it's suppressor height, some kind of fiber optic on there in the front. So I'll probably end up either changing these sights or just throwing some paint on the front. The latter is probably more likely. So not ambi, right? I think you can flip this magazine release over to the other side, probably. But as it sits, you know, it is not ambi for your slide release. No big deal. Again, already cut for your fiber optic sight that you want to put on there. It came with the plates and all that kind of good stuff as well. You know, you got your normal rail on the front, not very intrusive markings of any sort. For some reason, just 5.7 rock is cool. Palmetto State Armory, you know, their whole thing on that side. So other than that, that's really just all the markings you got on there. So not very intrusive on it. Let's talk a little bit about the grip and the stippling. When I compare the two grips, okay, believe it or not, I think the texturing on the Ruger 5.7 wins. Actually, there's no doubt about it. It's a little more aggressive. That's going to be subjective. You might not like it that aggressive. I like it to almost rub my skin off. This gets nowhere near that on the Ruger 5.7, so don't be worried for that. But it's certainly more aggressive than the Palmetto State Armory Rock. The funny thing about these grips, when I was shooting, I actually like the feel of the Rock better. I think I'm favoring the grip on the Palmetto State. Okay. And I'm just talking about how it feels in hand, not talking about texturing, just how that grip feels in hand. You can see it's got this one little hump here. So it's, you see all these manufacturers, they flop between finger grooves, no finger grooves. I guess Palmetto State Armory opted to go in the middle. It feels great, right? For my hand, which is, you know, Mr. Average Size Hand Man, got a little hump in the back. Some people are going to be absolutely pissed about that. Feels great for me, okay? So he's pointing good. And I said it even when I was shooting. It's hard not to get a good grip, it seems like, on these 5.7s. They're thinner grips. You really can control these things. Recoil is absolutely nothing. You got an undercut here under your trigger guard. It's a, look at that. It's relatively large, right? We should be able to get in there pretty easily gloved. During shooting, I had on, the gloves without the fingers on them, but I think if you had a full glove, you could probably get that in there relatively easily. Talking a little bit about the function. It's funny. Me racking and slide back, man, it's like butter. Put you in the mind of a Shield EZ, except, and I'm not even joking, I was about to say it's probably a little lighter. Maybe not lighter, but it puts me in the mind of Shield EZ. Okay, I didn't take this out and lube it up or anything like that before I shot it. It's kind of sticky right here, and it seems like it's because of the lube that they used. They used more of a greasy lube. It seems like. I could be wrong with that. I don't know. Either way, it sticks a little bit in the back, so I definitely need to disassemble this thing and clean it. And I do believe that was probably the reason that I did have, I think, the bobble that I did have. Still new. I didn't pick it up in addition to what's already on there or anything. Didn't go in the battery using just that. Okay, so look at that. Our first little bobble there. It didn't worry me too much, but there's something to note. I give my experience. This is one sample size. This is one firearm. It may run flawlessly for me. You may have a different experience. That's what this channel is about. You got to put that information in the comments. I'm not giving this information to make it gospel, or say this is the end all be all. And you should never take my advice only. You should search, out many different folks' experiences. And I like to say common folk or normal folk, folks who are not doing it for any kind of benefit or profit. Obviously, once you do this, some money starts to come your way and people want to send you firearms and all that. It's no problem, doing that. I just, be honest about everything. Be upfront. If they sent it, if you're just reviewing it, if you're giving an honest opinion, or you're just going to give a couple thoughts on it, just be honest about what kind of the arrangement is. So again, if you've got a different experience, I need you to say it down below, because I don't want people to come back and say, Don, you lied to me. I want this channel to just be a hub and a center for great information. That's the ramble for this video. Let's talk about the trigger. As a matter of fact, hold on. We got to get the trigger gauge. Now, I'll be honest. I don't remember what the trigger pull was for the Ruger. It's still right here, so we'll just do it again. First pull, 8 pounds. That seemed a little unfair. I don't know if it's 8 pounds. 712 is 8 pounds. Go to the Ruger 5.7. Now, none of these triggers on these 5.7s are stellar. I don't think they advertise that either. 6.1. 5.15. 6. Okay? So Ruger's got it by quite some bit as far as the weight of the trigger. Now, let me just tell you, just because the trigger's light doesn't mean it's great. You got to shoot these things. I'll be honest, shooting them, it doesn't feel like an 8-pound trigger. The Ruger's a little smoother and a little crisper. A little smoother, a little crisper, which, once you start to talk about what am I getting for my money, hopefully, because this does cost a little more, you would hope that things like the trigger would be better. The sights, which are, to me, in Palmetto, hey, listen, I love you. These sights exponentially better, right? And you get that. You understand that. I mean, these are adjustable at the rear. Black rear, you got your fiber optic green insert there in the front. That's the sight picture to have. Ultimately, shooting them, the feel, the recoil impulse, I I was searching for something to separate them. I did not want to say these two firearms, felt the same. But I'll be honest, at least today, guys, these felt really similar. They felt really similar. I'm not going to just try to make up a difference because I understand they're two completely different firearms, two different manufacturers. I mean, these weights, the different weights, the balance of the weight is different. Okay, you feel more of the weight on this Ruger 5.7 in the rear. I'm feeling more of the weight up front. Okay, with the PSA Rock. But when you actually shoot them, they do feel really similar. And they both are just a dream to shoot. Okay, a little low left first one. Okay, I'm shooting mad low. Wow. Man, these 5.7 guns are so fun to shoot. Ruger certainly has a beat on the sights. God, those sights are great. On the Ruger, we're gonna go literally back to back. Do that 1 second. Got the safety on. Okay. So, I keep saying it's like shooting a 22. I mean, it's just super smooth. I could shoot it all day. Really trying to figure out where I hold going back from gun to gun is. That's my little brain spinning. And I want to try it ungloved. Make sure to give that a fair shot as well. All right, you can use the Palmetto State magazines in the Ruger, but can't use the Ruger in the Palmetto State. Let's see how these do for the Ruger. Insert it just fine. Slide release okay. Man. You can't lose with either one. I like how this feels better. I did a better purchase on the 5.7. Weird, that's just what it is. Sometimes it works out that way. You know how you can have that girl who you like? She might be pretty and all that, but she might not be the one for you. You can't go with the one that feels right. You gotta go with that ugly one sometimes. I wear a hoodie when I shoot these because I don't know if y'all noticed, but these things really eject, which is okay, good, but they eject to the heavens. And last time I was shooting this 5.7, I had one go down, a shell casing, go down my shirt, and it burnt a hole in my first vertebrae. There's nothing I can ding one on the or the other one to give it more points, or say go with this one over that one. Now, the Palmetto State Armory magazines are said to be able to fit in the Ruger 5.7, but the Ruger 5.7 magazines do not fit and operate properly in the PSA Rock. That's true. So the PSA magazines, they ran flawlessly in this Ruger 5.7. I got that on video. Obviously, if you put the Ruger magazine in this PSA, it'll go in there, but it doesn't stay seated. You might be able to rack around back, but anyway, it doesn't stay seated. It doesn't work. You'll notice that right offhand. You won't get them mixed up and be just wondering what the heck is going on. It's not going to function properly and chamber that round as it should if you try to put the Ruger magazine into the PSA magazine. Now, I'm not saying that these PSA mags are bad. In fact, they're great. It's only because, if you went out and you had a bunch of Ruger mags because you had this 5.7, the Ruger 5.7 because it was first to market, and you bought a bunch of magazines and you said, oh yeah, let me get the the Rock. Because, you know, these guys, even though this is super budget, and this I consider budget in today's firearm world, and especially it's budget when you compare it to the popular firearm, you know, in its class, which is the FN. So we're going to call it budget. Doesn't shoot or feel budget, but it just is compared. This one is almost low budget, right? Cheap. So there are going to be some differences that you expect. This obviously, to me, I mean, slide definitely looks better. They could argue about the frame. You tell me. You tell me. I don't know. I think, I don't know. You tell me. You gotta be the tiebreaker. I could go with either one. I'm not ready to give it to Ruger. I think maybe if you just talking stylistically and looks, I do like that Ruger threw their logo right here. Some people will hate the logos everywhere. Palmetto State's got theirs right in the corners on both sides. Yeah. They've got theirs right there in the corner. Just less kind of intrusive. Maybe if they had it there bigger. Some people might like that. Some don't. I like the little subtlety right there. It's hard for me to choose, toss up, flip a coin. You decide. All right. Ultimately, that's all I got for you guys, man. This PSA Rock, I absolutely say buy this, especially if you're talking about on a budget, and you just want to kind of get into 5.7, and you want to have something capable of shooting 5.7 because that round is nice. So if you got a specific reason that you want to use a 5.7-4, you want to get into it cheap here, there you go. That's it. All right, guys. First of all, let me just, I really appreciate the comments that I get, and hopefully people see this. I mean, work, life, everything has been really crazy, but you guys, very positive. Everybody comes to this channel is very positive, very informative. Man, it's easy to lose faith in people, but things like that just help, me regain a little bit of faith in people. So keep that positivity coming, guys. I eat that stuff up, and that's what I run on. I truly appreciate you guys watching, commenting, liking. Until the next one, peace.